There comes a moment in every person's life when silence feels heavier than noise. You wake up, stare at the ceiling, and realize you're not tired from lack of sleep. You're tired from living on autopilot. The same routine, the same excuses, the same inner voice whispering, tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow keeps slipping into next week, next month, next year, and deep down you know the problem isn't time, it's you. That ache inside your chest isn't laziness, it's your potential suffocating under comfort. Improvement doesn't begin when life feels easy. It starts when everything feels stuck, when you finally admit that staying the same hurts more than changing. Most people wait for motivation to strike, like a lightning bolt that will jolt them into action. But motivation fades. It's discipline that keeps you standing when inspiration disappears. You can't just want to improve, you have to force yourself to. Because the truth is, no one's coming to push you, to wake you up, or to carry your dreams for you. You are the only one responsible for saving yourself from the life you no longer want. There's a kind of quiet pain that comes from knowing you could be better, smarter, stronger, calmer, but not doing anything about it. You scroll through success stories, listen to motivational talks, and promise yourself that next Monday will be different. But every time you break that promise, you lose a little trust in yourself. And that's the most dangerous kind of failure. Not failing the world, but failing your own belief. This is not about chasing perfection. It's about progress. Small, uncomfortable, often invisible progress. Because when you learn to push yourself through resistance, you don't just change your habits, you change your identity. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who does. So, if you've been feeling stuck, lost, or unmotivated, if you're tired of your own promises, this is where it all begins. Not tomorrow, not next week, right here, in this moment. Because improvement doesn't wait for permission. It begins the moment you decide to fight back against your own resistance. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Breaking Point. There's a moment in life when you quietly realize you can't keep living the same way. It doesn't happen in a dramatic explosion, no grand scene, no sudden lightning. It's quiet, almost peaceful, but it cuts deep. Maybe you're sitting at your desk, staring at a screen, or lying in bed scrolling through people who seem to be moving forward while you're stuck. It's that hollow feeling in your chest when you whisper to yourself, something has to change. That's the breaking point, the invisible moment when your soul gets tired of your own excuses. The breaking point doesn't come from failure, it comes from repetition. You keep doing the same things, expecting a different outcome, and each time life hands you the same empty result, you feel a little more disconnected from yourself. You start to question your worth, your direction, your purpose. You begin to wonder if maybe you were never meant for more. But deep down, you know that's not true. You were meant for more. You just stopped demanding more from yourself. We often imagine rock bottom as a tragic place, but sometimes rock bottom looks ordinary. It's waking up late again, skipping the gym, ignoring the book you said you'd finish, pretending everything's fine while inside you're restless and disappointed. It's not a dramatic collapse. It's the slow erosion of your belief in yourself. That's the real breaking point, when you realize you've been betraying your own potential, one lazy choice at a time. And that's when you face the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one's going to drag you out of bed, take your phone away, and force you to focus. The world will keep spinning whether you change or not. That realization hurts at first, but it's also the most liberating one. Because once you understand that it's all on you, you stop waiting. You stop hoping for a miracle, and you start building one. The breaking point is not the end. It's the beginning. It's the start of a rebellion against your weaker self. You don't need to feel ready to begin. You just need to be tired enough of not beginning. Because improvement doesn't ask if you're comfortable. It demands you to act even when you're not. And when you finally do, something powerful happens. The same life that once felt unbearable starts to open up. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped running from your pain, and you started using it as fuel. The truth is, your life won't transform the moment you make the decision to change. But that decision, that quiet moment of honesty, plants a seed. And if you nurture it with action, even small action, it will grow into something unstoppable. You don't have to see the whole path. You just have to take the first difficult step, the one that most people avoid, because that's where the difference is made, in the uncomfortable steps no one else sees. So when you feel like breaking, don't run from it. Let that feeling break your comfort, not your courage, because pain, when faced with truth, becomes direction, and that's where growth begins. Chapter 2. When comfort becomes the enemy. At first, comfort feels harmless. It feels like peace, like a warm blanket on a cold morning. You tell yourself you deserve rest, that you'll start tomorrow. But comfort has a dark side. It whispers soft lies. It convinces you that taking it easy is self-care, when sometimes it's really self-sabotage. Slowly, your comfort zone becomes your cage. You decorate it with excuses. I'm too busy. I'm not ready. I just need a break. And before you know it, you've built a prison with no locks, just habits. The danger of comfort is that it's invisible. It doesn't announce itself like fear or pain. It sneaks in quietly and makes you numb. You stop stretching your limits, stop challenging your mind, stop demanding growth, and yet the world outside keeps moving. Opportunities pass you by. People who were once behind you start to rise, not because they were smarter, but because they were willing to be uncomfortable. Comfort keeps you the same. Discomfort forces you to evolve. Think about it. Every meaningful transformation in your life came from discomfort. Learning a new skill, ending a toxic relationship, standing up for yourself, starting something uncertain, all of it required facing pain. Growth doesn't feel like motivation. It feels like resistance. And most people never grow because they avoid that feeling. They mistake struggle for failure, not realizing it's the only sign that something real is happening. Comfort also has another trick. It makes you defend it. The mind loves familiarity, even if it's destroying you. That's why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and lifestyles that keep them stuck. They tell themselves, it's not that bad. But if you have to keep convincing yourself that your life is fine, then it's probably not. Sometimes the scariest truth is realizing that you become addicted to easy. Here's the hard truth. Comfort doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about your safety. But you weren't built to live a safe, small, predictable life. You were built to experience expansion, the kind that requires effort, fear, and courage. Every time you choose effort over ease, your mind expands. You prove to yourself that you can survive discomfort, and that's how self-respect is born, not through comfort, but through challenge. Breaking free from comfort doesn't mean living in constant struggle. It means replacing false peace with real progress. It means choosing to do what's right for your future, even when your present self resists it. That's what discipline really is, not punishment, but love in action. Because when you push yourself to grow, you're not hurting yourself, you're saving yourself. So ask yourself, when did comfort stop being rest and start being escape? When did you start mistaking avoidance for balance? If you can answer that honestly, you'll begin to see the invisible walls around you. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. That's when you'll realize the truth. Comfort was never your friend. It was your test. And the only way out is through discomfort. Chapter 3, Down. The fight between mind and emotion. Every day, there's a quiet war happening inside you, between what you feel like doing and what you know you should do. Your mind speaks logic, but your emotions speak louder. One tells you, go for a run. The other says, you're too tired. One says, start the project. The other whispers, you're not ready. It's a battle that never ends, and most people lose it, not because they're weak, but because they believe their emotions are always the truth. But here's the secret. Emotions are not commands. They're signals. They're like weather, temporary, shifting, unpredictable. You wouldn't cancel your whole day because it's raining. So why cancel your progress because you don't feel like it? The mistake we make is waiting for our emotions to agree with our goals. They rarely do. Growth requires doing what's necessary, not what feels comfortable. The mind knows what's good for you. It knows that showing up builds character, that discomfort builds strength, that progress demands effort. But emotions crave safety. They want what's easy, familiar, and soothing. They'll protect you from failure, but they'll also protect you from success. Because success requires change, and change feels unsafe to the emotional brain. That's why improvement feels like inner conflict. It's not that you're broken, it's that you're evolving. The key isn't to silence your emotions, but to guide them. Listen to what they're trying to tell you. Fear means you care, resistance means you're close to something important, boredom means it's time to grow. The trick is to act despite them, not in their shadow. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel tired and still show up. You can feel insecure and still try. That's real courage. Not the absence of emotion, but mastery over it. When you start training your mind to lead instead of follow, everything changes. You begin to understand that emotions are part of the journey, not obstacles on it. You stop fighting how you feel and start using it as fuel. Anger becomes determination. Fear becomes focus. Sadness becomes clarity. Every emotion, when faced with awareness, becomes energy. And that energy, when directed, builds transformation. The more you practice this, the stronger your mental muscle grows. You start recognizing the difference between temporary emotions and lasting values. You stop letting a bad mood ruin a good day. You stop making decisions based on how you feel now and start making them based on who you want to be later. And that's how you win the fight. Not by eliminating emotion, but by elevating the mind above it. So the next time you feel resistance, don't label it as weakness. See it as the proof that your mind is stretching, that you're stepping beyond what's easy. Because every battle between your mind and emotions is an invitation to choose growth over comfort, truth over impulse, and strength over softness. In the end, improvement is not about feeling good all the time. It's about doing good for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. That's the real victory, when your actions are no longer slaves to emotion, but servants to your vision. Chapter 4. The Price of Growth. Every transformation has a cost. You can't become someone new without letting go of the person you used to be. Growth sounds beautiful when we talk about it, but when you live it, it feels like loss. You lose comfort. You lose approval. You lose the version of yourself that was okay with mediocrity. It's not easy. It hurts. But that pain is proof that something inside you is changing shape, expanding beyond what's safe. The truth is, most people want growth without sacrifice. They want the success without the struggle, the reward without the grind, the progress without discomfort. But life doesn't work that way. You can't level up without giving something up. Every new version of you demands the death of an old habit, an old belief, or an old identity. And that's why most people quit halfway, because the price feels too high. But what they don't realize is that staying the same costs even more. When you start to grow, you'll notice people pulling away. Some will say you've changed, and they'll be right. You'll stop fitting into old conversations, stop relating to old complaints, stop feeling at home in your old patterns. It's lonely at first. Growth often isolates you before it empowers you. But solitude is not a punishment, it's a classroom. It's where you learn to stand on your own strength, to validate your own worth, to trust your own path. Growth also asks you to face truth, uncomfortable, raw truth. You start seeing your excuses for what they are. You start noticing how often you've chosen easy over right. You begin to realize that change doesn't come from wishing. It comes from working. And that work, the emotional labor, the daily grind, the self-doubt, that's the price. The pain of transformation is not a sign you're failing. It's the cost of evolution. Here's the thing. Every step forward demands energy. You'll be tempted to stop, to tell yourself you've done enough. But growth doesn't stop because you're tired. It continues because you refuse to settle. The price is consistency when no one's watching. It's silence when no one's cheering. It's saying no to comfort when your body craves it. But one day, it all makes sense. You wake up feeling lighter, stronger, calmer, and you realize the pain didn't break you. It built you. The struggle wasn't the barrier. It was the bridge. And the cost? It was never wasted. Because every ounce of effort you spent on yourself returns multiplied in peace, in confidence, in purpose. So yes, growth demands payment. But it's the only thing in life that gives you more than it takes. You just have to be willing to pay up front, in discipline, in patience, in resilience. Because the price of staying stuck will always be higher than the price of moving forward. Chapter 5, and it's becoming your own force. There comes a moment when you realize no one's coming to save you. Not the mentor you follow, not the motivation you chase, not even the version of yourself you keep waiting to feel ready. It's always been you. You are the only one with the power to change your life. And the sooner you accept that, the freer you become. Becoming your own force doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means owning your direction. It means showing up for yourself the way you always wish someone would. It's about becoming the voice in your head that says, "Get up, keep going, you've got this." Because at the end of every hard day, you're the only one who can decide whether you'll give up or go again. When you become your own force, you stop waiting for the perfect moment. You create it. You stop depending on the world to give you energy. You generate it. You stop asking for permission. You start moving with purpose. You understand that your future doesn't respond to hope. It responds to action. Every small step you take builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. And confidence? That's your new fuel. The strongest people you'll ever meet aren't the loudest or the flashiest. They're the ones who built themselves quietly in the dark when no one was watching. They fought their fears, their doubts, their bad habits, and they didn't wait to feel brave before they started. They became brave by showing up scared. That's what real strength looks like. Not perfection, but persistence. Becoming your own force is also about forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for the wasted time, the missed chances, the moments you gave up. You can't move forward while carrying shame. Growth isn't about punishing your past. It's about using it as proof of your progress. You've fallen before, and yet you're still here, breathing, learning, trying. That's power. That's resilience. So stop underestimating what you can do. You don't need to be extraordinary to start. You just need to take the next right step, again and again, until it becomes who you are, because power doesn't arrive in a single moment. It's built layer by layer through effort, honesty, and time. And when you finally look back, you'll realize something incredible. No one forced you to improve. You did. You forced yourself to grow, to change, to rise. You became your own push, your own drive, your own reason. That's what this whole journey was about. Not just becoming better, but becoming unshakable. So wherever you are right now, remember this. You don't need the world to believe in you. You just need to believe enough to take the first step and then the next. Because the force you've been waiting for has always been you. Conclusion. In the end, self-improvement isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the person you were meant to be before the world told you to play small. Every chapter of your journey, every hard morning, every quiet breakdown, every silent victory, it all leads you here to this truth. No one is coming to save you, but you've had the power to save yourself all along. Growth was never supposed to feel easy. It was meant to stretch you, test you, and shape you into something unbreakable. The pain you once cursed became your teacher. The loneliness you feared became your strength. And the discipline you resisted became your freedom. Through every struggle, you weren't falling apart. You were breaking open. You were making space for a stronger, wiser, calmer version of yourself to step forward. You've learned that forcing yourself to improve isn't cruelty. It's compassion. It's refusing to let your potential die quietly inside a comfortable life. It's the courage to say, I deserve better, and I'm willing to fight for it. That's real love. Not the soft, fleeting kind, but the fierce kind that demands accountability. So, as you close this journey, remember, improvement isn't a one-time act. It's a lifelong conversation between who you are and who you're becoming. Some days, you'll win. Some days, you'll fall. But as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep choosing growth over comfort, you're already ahead of who you used to be. Take a deep breath. You've come far, but your story isn't done. Keep pushing, keep learning, keep loving yourself enough to try again. Because the most powerful force in your life, the one that will always carry you forward, has been you all along.